The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're so honored to have back on the show groundbreaking singer, songwriter, keyboardist, and producer, the one and only Howard Jones. Howard, it's good to see you.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, it's even better in person. Last time, you were on tour, and we had to do the Zoom interview.
Yeah.
But, you're in town now, and you're on tour with Daryl Hall.
Yeah.
What a great thing.
It is absolutely great. I mean, Daryl's an absolute legend. I mean, the amount of songs, incredible songs he's written. And he invited me to do live at Daryl's house.
I had to watch that, and you were incredible on it.
Well, thank you.
And especially, I thought it was kind of like, when you've worked with choirs over the years too, Howard, to where you're like helping everybody, get the harmonies and all of the nuances of your hit songs.
Yeah, well, it was just wonderful working with Daryl's band, and I think that's why I got the invite to come out on tour with Daryl, and I get to play with his band on on this tour, and it's fun because I'm known as an electronic musician.
Totally.
So having like this incredible band behind me is a new thing and a lot of fun.
Well, and once again, I got to brag on you because you won't, but you cut so much new ground over the years, Howard, with coming out from behind the keyboard, with the wireless headsets, with the sequencers, with all these things.
Yeah.
Decades ahead of other people.
Well, I guess I was very fortunate to be emerging at the time when all that stuff was just about possible to buy at your local music store, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to do a one-man electronic band and and sort of be able to sort of write songs that suited that, and then move around and talk about the mobile keyboards, because I was such a huge fan of Keith Emerson, right?
Oh, me too.
Who was the lead guy in Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but he was a keyboard player.
You got to play some of that music when you toured with Ringo Starr and the All-Starr band too.
That's right. Greg Lake on bass and singing, and Sheila E. playing the Carl Palmer stuff.
And you on keyboards.
I mean, that was...
And Ringo Starr, a Beatle. Yeah.
that was really, really, really cool, and I think it's up on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, I want to bring up also with live at the O2, and you and I, last time we talked, we were talking about your other projects too, because you continue to create new music.
Yeah.
Even though last year they came out with the best of Howard Jones.
Yeah.
With I think a translucent green for the vinyl.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah,
multi-disc.
I think it was recycled vinyl as well. So yeah.
Very artsy. Yeah. But you and I were talking, like even in 1983, like when New Song came out. I'll never forget this. You were everywhere on MTV. It was like you and Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's another thing we were so fortunate about. There's all this new technology coming out, and keyboards and synths and stuff, but also MTV. And when I was doing my one-man show, we had like TV screens with videos that we'd made.
Right.
So we were already like incorporating visuals into the live show, and there were like borrowed TVs from friends' houses and stuff like that, and like VHS tapes. And it's got a lot more sophisticated. But we were used to the visual language, and like looking the part and.
Right.
And
also, you and I were talking before we started the interview, Howard, to where, what I always admired with all of your songs, just like with No One Is to Blame and so many other hits that you've had over the years, is that you always brought a positive message, and it seems like you uplifted people with the songs and with the videos.
It was a real sort of conscious effort to do that for me, because I always thought, like, when I heard songs that really lifted my spirits and gave me kind of extra boost to get through some difficulty, some problem in my life that, I was struggling with.
Right.
When I heard a piece of music to just, get me through the next bit, I thought that's the kind of music I want to write, and that's the message I want to put out there. Being realistic, but also saying, things can only get better if you decide.
Right.
Like to get to know you well. Let's get to know each other. Let's like make friends wherever we go. So,
Such great messages, and I think they still, today, I think they matter as much as they did when you first released them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because I still feel the same when I sing them. If it was lyrics that I couldn't relate to now, as a person, that would be hard.
Right.
But because the songs did have that message, and I still agree with that, then it flows.
And now you have multi-generations singing them back to you.
Well, that's nice.
At sold-out shows with Daryl Hall all over the United States. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it's enough that you conquered the UK, you know,
well.
and now you're conquering the US again.
Well, you know, I mean, I've been fortunate that the US was always my biggest audience.
Because you were like the second wave of British music,
Yeah.
you know, coming in at that time.
Yeah, and I mean, the people have always stuck with me. They always come back to see me. So I really should be living here, really. But, you know, I mean, but,
It's almost like you are. You just need to leave a few keyboards
right.
here and some clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many places in America. I probably travelled more than most Americans have.
Probably so.
Because we've just toured everywhere. And,
Yeah. Even though born in the UK and raised in Canada.
Yeah, that's right. So it's about time I did come and live here, really.
Well, you know, and I was kidding you also, and I wasn't kidding, Howard. It seems like you're almost due, you know, for some kind of documentary or a book or something, you know, after you hit the 40-year mark in 2023 with the best of Howard Jones, which, you know, so many incredible #1 hits, and I like the deeper cuts also.
Yeah,
that didn't
great.
maybe get on the radio.
Yes.
Those are my favorites of yours.
Great.
And so but you know, what's next? I mean, I know, you know, coming from, you know, selling vegetables and fruit out of the back of a van, and then working in a factory.
Yeah.
And then having to get your hair ready to do incredible music videos. You know, I was wondering when I was watching the videos, getting ready for our interview, I'm like
that's
going,
right.
you know, did he have a separate rider for his hair? Because sure, you got to pay for the keyboards, but the hair.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as you say, I was working in a factory. I wasn't going to be working in a bank. So for me, that was part of the expression of you know, please be who you are. You know, don't leave anything behind,
Right.
and be free to express yourself. And that was me doing that, and that was the message coming through the music as well. So.
And coming from a family of musicians with your brothers playing also.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, my parents sang. You know, they used to sing duets at home, so it was like music was kind of compulsory in our household.
You just had to find your place in it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, now I've heard rumors also, you know, and I always love talking with you about your new music and your keyboards and all the creative things that you do. But you're working on like a piano album now for release in 2025.
That's right. It's all done. I got this amazing new piano called, it's a Steinway, it's a Spirio.
I saw the video.
So I can play it and then it plays it back to me. And then I can edit what I've played in. So I've been working with that to do a series of piano. I mean, I don't expect it to get to #1 in the charts.
Yeah, but you know, but once again, it goes back to how you started, though, Howard. I mean, you know, you were pushing the keyboards and the software to its brink in the '80s, and now you're embracing all the new technology that's coming to you.
Well, what's great about this piano is that I can program stuff into it that you can't actually play. So it's like, obviously, I come from a background of being, you know, classically trained in that. So I've got the chops, but then I can add like multiple octaves to things that I've played, and it sort of brings more life to the piano. And people go, I didn't realize a piano could do that, but yeah. No.
You know, and a lot of people may not realize, because when I was going through and getting ready for this interview with you, that you were classically trained.
Yeah.
And you know, but when you start listening to some of the songs, I can hear it in there.
Yeah, I guess
And
so.
some of the progressions and some of the solos and some of the phrasing, just like, I can hear where you sneak things in.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, I was a crazy kid. You know, I started playing when I was 7 years old, and then in the end, they couldn't keep me away from piano. I was like doing 4 hours a day. I mean, imagine being in a household where this crazy kid is like playing piano like 4 hours a day, You're driving everyone, and the neighbors. You can imagine, like, you know, 7:30 in the morning, and I'm there playing 12-bar blues with the piano facing their wall. Oh, I feel so bad.
But at least you weren't a drummer. If you'd been a drummer, it could have been worse.
Yeah. I know it could have been worse, but I apologize profusely to those people who had to bear with me.
Well, I have to ask you, you know, last time we spoke also, you'd been doing your projects, different musical project almost every year.
Yeah.
You know, and possibly the 4th installment will come out maybe in 2025 in between touring, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's an album, it's going to be called Global Citizen, and it's the last in that series of 4 that I promised the fans I would do. I haven't started writing, but I think I'm going to take a different approach to it. I'm going to record it with all the great musicians that I've met, because if it's a subject global citizen,
Right.
then I should be collaborating with people, because that's what we need to do to bring people together.
Right.
So I should be collaborating with all the great people I've met and artists I met and through my time, and get them to play with me. So,
Well, and you've played with so many incredible musicians over the years,
Yeah,
and they with
yeah.
you, it's just.
Yeah.
But also, I've got to say, watching live at Daryl's house, you and
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Hall just fall together on this
Yeah.
project. I mean, and so it was so great to me that the tour came to be, and and it's being expanded, obviously.
Yeah.
With 2025, with more shows, thankfully, coming to more cities.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing my own shows in February, and you're the first person we're telling. And so that's with co-headline with ABC, who are great
Love
friends of
ABC.
mine. And so, yeah, the first part of the tour went really well, so we're adding more dates. The whole of February is going to be, all over the place.
Well, and also, I got to bring this up, Howard. Doesn't it make you feel good, though, that, it is like families bringing their kids and everything, people that grew up with you,
Yeah.
but now bringing their children or grandchildren, and you're selling out shows wherever you go.
Well, when I look out in the audience and I see those young people, in my heart really, honestly, I'm just, wow, because like they're hearing the music for the first time. So they've got a fresh take on it.
Right.
They haven't grown up with it, they're just hearing it. And that just makes me so excited about that, that they're taking it on as well.
Well, and I love all of your recordings, and certainly, all of the #1 hits you've had over the years, but seeing you live is so much better. I can say it, from seeing you multiple times on tour, it's just, you're just having fun.
Yeah.
And you engage the audience,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
audience is singing, and they're part of the show with you.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it comes from those early days when I was doing the one-man show, and I had to get the audience involved because it's just me on stage. I can't turn to the other guys in the band for support.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to really engage them and talk to them, get them involved. And I think I've continued that as the years have gone by, and that's just part of what I do. Yeah.
Well, it's just amazing. Well, I want to make sure for our viewers, Howard, for the upcoming tours and everything, for the new music coming out, but also they're going to have to get their own copy of this, which I think is incredible. And your website is so much fun.
Oh, well,
I got lost in it.
Yeah.
I learned all about the Steinway stuff and everything.
Yeah. There's, if you go deep into the website, you can find out loads of stuff.
And there's some merch in there too, and
Yeah.
and translucent green albums.
Yeah, and we put lots of effort into social media now.
Right.
My daughter Mika is running it for me, so she's doing such a great job. So,
Incredible.
So we just try and make it interesting.
Yeah,
for
it's
people.
great. Well, I want to make sure, what is the best for website, for social media, for everything that Howard Jones continues to do coming up? Where should they go?
Well, there's howardjones.com, and that's the way you get through to everything else.
Well, and maybe also you should do like back to the 80s, maybe like some, on how to tease up your hair, like some techniques along with the songs. And it can be done while playing your music in the background.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that's really consigned to that era now. But, but I think how one presents oneself is still like a creative
Oh, you still
thing.
have the rock star look. You have the persona, Howard. So it's like, and I can't wait to see you on tour with the live backup band and everything, and so you don't have to do it all by yourself, like the old days with the spinning, keyboards.
Yeah, that's right. The revolving.
Yeah, when I would watch you up on in tour in concert, it's like I thought I would get dizzy up there.
Yeah.
It's like, do you pick a point and look out at the crowd?
Well, there was one time we were doing a gig in London, and Dave Stewart from Eurythmics came to the show and decided to join me on stage, and came up, and then that's just at the moment where the keyboards started going round.
Oh my goodness!
And it was all being live triggered, so I'm struggling, and so I'm hitting the wrong key. So there's Dave Stewart on me, both going round this. I don't think I've told that story.
That is a classic.
That is a classic.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's fun. It's fun.
Well, and once again, Dave's such a talented musician.
Yeah.
He should do something with you.
Yeah. Well, well, he's just done an album with Daryl.
Yeah.
He produced an album.
I think
with
now
Daryl,
you're next, then, right?
Well, I mean, we did try writing some stuff back in the day.
Right.
So yeah, maybe we should do that.
Well, and also the other hit songs that you've written for other people besides your own.
Yeah.
In your spare time.
Yeah.
That's why the documentary may have to wait a little while.
Yeah.
And the book.
That's it. That's it.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure to check him out on tour. Howard Jones, he's out there right now with Daryl Hall, also with his own solo band coming out. They're going to have some great music, piano music coming out, the 4th installment of your series of albums, and of course, live at the O2. Howard Jones, thanks for coming
Eric,
on the show.
great to talk to you, man.
Can't wait to see you live.
Thanks very much. Thank you, everyone.
The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.